Alright everybody, we are back down here on Tommy Lee Fuller Road. This is Lee Phillips' Journey of Truth, and today is Tuesday, July the 28th. It is 1:30 in the afternoon. And they have got the paving machine out, ready to go. They are marking their guidelines using high technology line drawing, and that's a little joke there, folks. And so we're going to take a look at the process here. Now, just so you know, they got a string pulled that they're using to mark with the spray paint. They got a string pulled from one end to the other, so they're not just walking and spraying lines. So that is a Lee Boy 8510E paver, or 8510E. We're going to zoom in here. As y'all can see, they have black tar that they put down on the edge of the old asphalt, and what that's for is to help the new asphalt stick to the old. Now that's a special treatment, I'm guessing, to go on their rakes to keep the asphalt from sticking to their rakes. And I guess it makes it easier to work because they spray down the back edge of the truck. That way it comes out of the truck easier. That would be, I guess the proper name would be an asphalt lubricant. Now I don't see any other trucks lined up right now, and it might be that they are just going to put this first one in right here and get this edge started, or they might have to have asphalt in the hopper to be able to get it heated up. Not sure, but we're gonna watch and see how they do this. So it looks like they lay that first bit down so that so they can get the machine down there. They're probably going to start from the other end and come down this way. All right, hold on just a second. Let me see if I can relocate. All right, so I got permission to walk down this side over here while they're doing this paving, since that they're not operating any heavy equipment. That way I can stay out of the way. I'll give y'all a look right here at the embankment and the rock coming down this side. Well, they got some big rock that they put in down there. Well, that's looking good. He's giving hand signals to the truck driver on how to operate the truck. And that's one thing that's really important on jobs like this, is for everybody to be in sync and know what's going on. And the operator has to keep a close eye on everything to make sure that he's following that line. Make sure the flow of asphalt coming in is the same as what's going out. He's got his probe right there that he's using to check the depth of the asphalt. Now you'll also know that you have notice that you'll have a controller on both sides of the back, and each one of them has a depth probing rod, and they have to make constant adjustments to the height on either side to make sure that they stay correct. Now I'm gonna guess, since this is still lower than the original road, that this is the base coat of asphalt, and they're gonna roll and pack that down and then come back with a second one over the top of it. That would be my guess, because I don't think that would be enough. Of a road surface to accommodate for trucks and all that. So at a certain point in time, they're going to fire this machine up right there, and that guy, he's going to be up there, and you don't want to get caught under that roller right there, because you'll end up like a cartoon. Be flatter than a pancake. And he's gonna roll that thing down through there and get that packed down real good. And I don't know why I'm standing in the sun out there when there's a little bit of shade right here. There's a little cool draft coming up out of this holler right here. Oh, I can get another view right here of the culvert. You can see the pipe extends out past the barrier wall, the retaining wall there. They got all that rock in right there real good. Now, I think I remember somebody telling me that by the time this comes out of the back of the truck, it's like 650 degrees. It might be double that when it comes out of the facility, or maybe not double, but it is higher when it comes out of the facility, and I think maybe 650, or maybe it comes out 650. If one of y'all know out there, leave a comment as to what the temperature from the manufacturer is on the asphalt, and what the general temperature is by the time the truck gets to the site and is unloading the asphalt. And when it's in this stage right here before they roll it, what does it cool down to once it's out like this right here? I'm sure there's some folks out there that would like to know that information, so it looks like that truck is empty. And he's probably going to slam his tailgate one time to knock out anything that's left. And just like that, whatever's left will come sliding right out. Alright, let's walk around this machine here. I don't know that there's another truck sitting up here. So he's still got some in his hopper and he's still able to move forward right here. But he can't let his he can't keep moving forward and let his hopper run out, because I don't think he wants to back up over where he's already been. He wants to stop as soon as his material is wore down. And the guy in the front here, what they're doing, they're keeping the sides scraped down so they get to use all of it and it doesn't get clumped up and hardened on the inside of it. Let's look up through here and see if they got another truck. Nope, I'm not seeing one yet. We're gonna get back in the shade right here. And we're gonna pause this till another truck gets here. Alright folks, while we're waiting on that new truck to roll in, they've got the roller over there rolling it down. We'll show y'all some rolling later on after they get the next truck going and all, but I wanted to take this opportunity to remind y'all, if you like my videos, hit that like and subscribe button and ring that bell, because you never know when I'm going to drop a video. And if you like what you have seen with the work being done on this project in my videos, and you have a job that requires this type of work, you can find out the information about these contractors at the City of Loganville. Get in touch with the City of Loganville and I'm sure that they will be able to give you the information on who these contractors are and how to get in touch with them. So I stepped back over here to show y'all this packer machine and what it does. As you can hear, probably, it is pretty noisy, and that's because it has a vibrating drum on it. And what that does is allows the weight to compact deeper down. That's why you can see the ridges where the edge of the roller has traveled, because that's where it's compacting it down. See how that little ridge line just disappears. Now, he don't have it vibrating right now because that's that center line, and he don't want to push it out on the other side and squish it out thin. That's why he doesn't have it vibrating. But after they get the other side paved, I imagine he will vibrate it. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Oh, if you're on a big job where you're doing long stretches of road, oh my goodness, that could drive a person crazy. All right, let's get back in the shade for a minute. All right, we're still waiting on that next truck to get here, but I want to make a quick observation. I don't know how many units are in this Alexander crossing right here, but the amount of traffic that goes in and out of this drive is equal to being in front of Walmart watching traffic come in and out of Walmart. It is unbelievable, the back and forth of vehicles out of this drive right here. And I don't know what is going on with this area of Loganville, but evidently there was something that happened down here yesterday evening or last night, and it continued on through this morning, because when I arrived down here this morning on the other side of the construction area, when I was over there and just walking up on scene, there were about 5 City of Loganville police cars come out of here, an undercover vehicle, SUV, might have been GBI or FBI, could have been one of the local investigators, I'm not sure. But then there's also been county officers coming in and out of here today. The amount of traffic and the amount of police officers going in and out of this place, I don't know, I might have to look into what's going on down here. Try and get somebody to give me some information on what's happening down here, because evidently there's something going on down here. I don't want to speculate too much. All right, folks, we're back and they got the trucks rolling in. There's 2 that just came rolling down the street right here. Now over there they got the roller machine that's got tires on it, because you just can't have the asphalt flattened out with the roller drum. You have to condition the surface for the texture of the tires. That's why they have the different ones that have the tires on them. So that way they get the texture of the surface to adhere with the surface of the tires for, I guess, best grip. Once again, they're spraying down their non-stick substance. Oh, that load's pretty hot. Now all the truck driver has to do is leave his truck in neutral, and the paving machine actually pushes the truck as it needs to move it out in front of it. So the guy threw a little bit of stuff on right there because they've got a couple of little spots right there that they'll fix before that they continue on. I think he's got enough in his hopper to go the rest of the way right here, and then he'll probably back his machine back up down yonder, and they'll come down with the next run. Looks like a couple of dip spots on that edge over there that aren't built up the same as the other. We'll see how it ends up after it's done. See if they're visible. Once they get to where they can make a run, they can move pretty quick. This guy's having to watch his side rail right here so that the seam in between the two lanes gets filled properly. And they tap the edges to keep the integrity of the edges, because that edge is going to cool a lot quicker than the middle and it's going to harden up. So he's fixing to get busy right here and get the roller going. Packing her down. This drum on this roller right here used to have the teeth on it that are used to pack down dirt. They modified it and took them off so that they could make a flat roller out of it. Pretty sure there's another truck ready to come in. Let's take a pause. Back and forth, pack her down. So as you can see where they left a little bit of material in that middle where the seam was, as he packs it down, it forces both of those together. And then you'll have the line painted over it. So now they're gonna come over it with the ones that's got the tires on it. And like I said, the tires do a different job than the roller does. That one compresses it. I think the tires condition the surface. Putting the non-stick on those tires. Alright, we got a City of Loganville truck that's got asphalt in it that just pulled up. Give a little shout out here to Ken Jones Enterprises Incorporated. Mr. Jones graduated in 1983 from Loganville High School. My graduating class. He is now a successful entrepreneur in Loganville. Well, that breeze is picking up a little bit. That sure does feel good. Folks, I'm trying to stay out of the sun for a minute while I drink another bottle of water and try and stay hydrated. It is hot out here and I am sweating like you would not believe. So they're getting the machine set up down here to do the final pass. I think he's just spreading out, emptying out his load on this pass right here. And the reason being is there's no good transition right here yet. It drops down. And I think he needed to get that hopper cleared out from what came out of the city truck. That might have had a different type of gravel for the final finish. It looks like that might have had a bigger gravel, and we'll take a look when the new truck dumps out and see what that looks like. But I'm gonna guess that maybe this first pass was with bigger gravel, and then their final pass is going to be more of a finer gravel that it doesn't have big chunks, because I guess the last thing you want is pieces of big gravel to come flying up out of the road, coming loose and flying up out of the road. So we'll see. That one's got chunks of tar coming off of the tires. I'm gonna borrow one of their buckets right here. I don't care that it's dirty. Looks like the city truck had some nasty gravel in with their asphalt. So just my observation, but right in front of that paving machine, there is a substantial dip in the road, both sides. If you're looking from one end to the other, they got a dip in the road. Man, that was some pretty nasty asphalt in the back of that city truck. I'm just here to tell you, it's got all kind of stuff in it. Alright, time to move out of the way a little bit. Sorry about the sky shot there, folks. That's called his push bar that's on the front right there. That you see the rollers on, that's what he pushes against the tires of the big truck with. Oh yeah, that asphalt has smaller aggregate in it. It doesn't have the big chunks like the other did. That's why they were running that other out on a thin coat. Folks, just a little reminder, the asphalt that you see on your roads is a direct result of oil that we pull out of the ground. If we did not explore and extract oil, we would not have products like asphalt or the products that you buy in the personal needs area of your grocery stores. A lot of products have crude oil products, things that go into them, ingredients. Without crude oil, none of this is possible. They should get you a machine that you could ride right along the edge, and it has a little impact hammer that comes out the side of it. You'd lose your arm strength if they did that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You gotta keep those arms built up. Man, that's looking good. That city truck had a lot of trash in there.
Oh, that's binder.
Yeah, that's just for that first layer going down.
This is tough and this is finished coat.
Yep. So that first layer is actually called a binder layer. And that's what gives your top surface and the bottom surface the adhesion together.
When it's hot, it's better to do it together when it's hot.
Yeah.
Cold, you got to put some tack over it. And you got to do it. Make some more tack and you already
Yep.
put that one down.
Because as long as it's up to temperature in a certain range, both layers will bond back together. How much does the asphalt, what's the temperature when it comes out of the factory into the truck? 650, 700?
I don't know. I know whenever we dump it out, it's like 280, 300. So.
Right around 300. I was thinking that it was around 600 and something. From what I heard years ago, it loses half of its heat during transport.
Maybe off the thing's probably hot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Man, that's looking good.
Look good in a minute.
The question is the city going to open the road back up before the sidewalks are done? Right here.
I don't know.
Because I'm thinking they might open it up for travel so that it's not an inconvenience, and then they'll come back and put the sidewalk in.
If I was them, I'd put cones down the side of it.
Yeah.
Everybody falls off. So they're come through here.
Yeah, because that's the worst thing, to have somebody get on it too early and turning their wheel and cutting a turn mark in it, or like you said, running off the edge before it has time to get hard all the way, and then you have that little drop off, and every car that goes past there after that, their tire's going to want to pull off in that little drop off.
I don't know. Maybe they opened it up. I don't know.
What's the
I would wait. If I was them, I would wait until
let the bed temperature reduce overnight? That would make sense.
right now, if they didn't go over there, to go over it. I mean, you can go over it.
Yeah.
Ain't hurt anything. I'm gonna roll it. You know, non-roll it. I'm gonna roll it again, but it should be good. But a lot of people don't turn on it too fast.
What do y'all use for the non-stick spray?
Starts with an A. I forgot what
Is
it's
it
called.
like a soapy solution, a special soap solution?
It's a special thing we use for that, so it won't stick to the tires. I forgot what they call it, but come to work.
I thought the trucks were going to hold y'all up at first, just having the one truck here, but they started rolling in enough y'all could stay busy. So
And we got 2 our trucks and then 2 the
city trucks. Where's the asphalt having to come from? Lawrenceville somewhere, or? Can't be too far, or the cool down rate would be too much.
I mean, it's hot in the day, so it won't matter anyway.
I was glad the other crew, I asked them if I could come on the side over here and all, and they said they didn't mind, so I was glad I was able to do that so I could get some good video of the process being done. Some folks, you know, in construction and all, they like to see equipment they like to see the detailed process. But then there's other folks that say, Lee, your videos are too long. But how can I show all the truth if I don't show all the truth?
Right.
I do put it on pause sometimes, like earlier today, this morning, when I was here, I didn't video all morning long. I paused it and all to save a little time on my video. I try to be conscious of people watching a little bit, but I did miss some things that I thought would have been good in the video, like when the guy was on the blade over there and he was getting the gravel bed leveled out and he was working in between the stakes, and he could get that blade like an inch away from the stake without making the stake move. And those are details I pick up on, and I know other people that are inclined to like this stuff, they pick up on little details like that, you know, the skills of the operator. And so when you're doing this kind of work, if you don't know what you're doing on machinery, you can cost hundreds or thousands of jobs in dollars in delays by messing up and having to fix it. So
That's years of experience.
yeah. So I told your boss what my YouTube channel was, and also, but you could search Loganville washout, and it'll pop up my videos. I've been doing updates on this from the very beginning.
YouTube?
Yeah, Lee Phillips' Journey of Truth.
Give me a picture of that, okay?
And I have a group on Facebook that has the same name, so because everybody on Facebook don't do YouTube, and they don't even like to hit the link to go to YouTube. So I've got. Yep. All right, brother. Y'all have a good one. It's looking good, man. Here we go. Now, even though that machine is heavy, that edge holds up because they did that packing. You might not think that that rake will pack that, but it doesn't need much. It just needs a little bit to be able to hold up. Siteworks Grading. We'll give them a shout out. Carnesville, Georgia. Now we've got a good smooth transition right there. That one looks good. Now, if there was a bad transition right there, I would feel the ground go bump whenever he rolls back and forth over that. But there is no bump in the ground. So that is a good transition right there. Now they got that bucket loader over there getting the gravel. They're getting the gravel out of the ditch line and loading it in one of the trucks over there. come on back down here to the shade on this end. I think the breeze is cooler over here than it was. And so they've got a nice transition line right here also. Looks like they are a little bit shy on having enough asphalt. So they're fixing to do the math right now and figure it out, and I guess make the call, because he is empty. So it looks like over on this end, they are going to move the barricades out of the road. So it's possible that when they get done with this asphalt, they're going to go ahead and open the road up. Maybe. I'm not gonna say for sure. Alright, well, we're going to hit pause again and see what's going to be happening with the last of the asphalt coming, and see if I can find out whether or not they're going to open the road up as soon as they're done. Alright folks, we got lots of activity going on right now. We got this big flatbed right here that has rolled back. And I believe they're going to be putting this machine right here on it. And we've got the loader on the other side doing some landscaping. No, y'all fine, man.
That's one thing about asphalt crews. Yeah.
Well, that's construction in general, you know. It's a different mindset of somebody that actually gets out and works every day for a living, as opposed to somebody just sitting behind a desk or something like that.
There's expectations of what needs to get done.
This is real life. This is, you know, life happens, and it ain't always a pretty picture.
The thing about like life in general with stuff like this is with people. Different people are capable of different things.
Yeah.
And you know what? You stick like truck driving. I've had to do it on and off for a while. I can't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it for a living because I go fucking crazy
Yeah.
talking to myself.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, you know, some people are meant to do different things and are actually better at doing different things, you know. So I don't think like just because somebody's better at one thing than me that makes me like.
God made all of us different and gave each one of us a different talent. But it's up to us to figure out what our talent is and pursue it.
Some of us get a little bit more.
Yeah.
But anyway. It's like one of my brothers came up with a phrase for people in my family. He said, people say we're conceited. He said, we're not conceited, we're convinced.
When you know what you know, you just know what you know.
Yeah. The thing is if I don't know something,
That's right.
it's like I tell guys who come to work here, because I've dealt with a lot of people that work they don't want it to look like they don't know what they're doing. They pretend like they do. I told them, it's like, don't be afraid to ask a question. There was a time when I didn't know a lot of things. And there's a big difference between ignorance and stupidity.
The most
Ignorance
important
is not
question
knowing.
is the one you don't ask.
Exactly.
Because that's the one that if you don't ask, it'll get you killed on the job.
Or just in trouble. I mean,
Yeah.
There's a lot of, you know, like when it comes to equipment, you know, it's like I had to fix it. Guys that just don't know what they're doing. Anyway.
So now they got to get their cribbing in, so they'll have a transition, because a round heavy roller don't go too good over a solid stop. But then again,
They usually carry.
Then again, it depends on how much power you got behind the wheels that's pushing it. So although the Gotta give it a good bump. All right, so while they're doing this work over here, I'm gonna go back over to the retention pond side over there and check out what the dozer is over there doing on the bank. And as you can see, they got some temporary sticker lines down right there. They'll be ready to throw some seed and straw down here before long. Good old nasty looking retention pond. All right, we're gonna take another little pause for a minute. All right, so I'm back now. I think this is our last truck right here. I'm not sure. This one might be. Okay, this truck is loading up this material right here. And we've got that going on. We've got material on the sidewalk coming out over here. They're gonna be replacing the damaged part of sidewalk up to where this gentleman is right here with the saw. And I don't know how long it's gonna take that last load of asphalt to get here that they need to finish that out. But while they're waiting on it, they are doing a whole lot of stuff. People in this neighborhood aren't paying attention coming in and out. They're getting that Bobcat loaded up on that flatbed back there. All right, we'll drop back in another minute. All right, we got another truck trying to maneuver his way in right here, and I see the crews are coming back to their equipment. This might be the rest of the asphalt that we need coming in on this white truck right here. So because they're working on the sidewalk right here and got this bobcat here, I'm not gonna go any further. I'm just gonna stay right here and catch the rest of this from right here. So here's what I know for sure. When they get done laying the asphalt and getting it rolled out, they're gonna try and get the road opened up. But the sidewalk might take until the end of the week, depending on scheduling, weather, and other things. Could be done by the end of the week or sometime next week, but the road should be opened back up by this afternoon here in a little bit. Now they do have to get done with all this heavy equipment that's in the road and get it all cleared out before they can really officially open it, I think. But they are working to get all the little side stuff done. They've got the barricades out from the road on that end. All they've got to do is move the vehicles, and it looks like they're pretty wrapped up, except for working the ditch line over here that has to be done with materials being loaded up and taken out of here. So there is the last bit of asphalt being laid down on the roadway. So I'm gonna hang out until they get this last bit done right here. And then I'm gonna be calling it a day. Well, he didn't have nothing come out, so he was all the way empty. I'm gonna guess he's gonna pull his machine over and cycle through the rest of what's in his hopper right there, and then they'll dump that in the truck with everything that's gonna be being hauled out of here. That'll be scrap. Well, folks, I've about had a day of it out here today. Y'all don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and ring that bell, because you never know when I'm going to drop a video, because I never know when something's going to happen. And y'all remember, be safe out there. Be good to one another. Do something kind for someone. And y'all have a blessed day.